Welcome, everyone. We'll call to order our Board of Weber County Commissioners dated this 10th day of October 2017 at 10 o'clock. In attendance today are Commissioner Gibson, Commissioner Harvey, and myself, Commissioner Ebert. We'll start today with a brief moment of silence. Then Shelley Halsey will lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance, and then Commissioner Gibson will give us our thought of the day. We can take a moment of silence for those who are struggling within our communities, but also along our coastal regions that have been hit by hurricane, and those who have been affected by the tremendous devastating impacts of the shooting in Las Vegas, and the community that continues to recover from that unfortunate incidents. Again, and there are other tragedies around this country within our own community, such as our fire. So if you will join us in a moment of silence. Thank you very much. Shelley.
Please rise and join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Shelley. Commissioner Gibson.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I think it's been good to enjoy this fall season. I love fall, and it's a time for me when I reflect on things that I appreciate, especially the harvest season and the things wrapping up as we move into winter. It's been a fun time for me. But as far as the thought of the day today, I'm going to probably slaughter it because I didn't write it down, but I'm grateful for our guru of communications, Sasha Clark, who has recently told us that if you don't talk about it, publicize it, post it, or otherwise make it known, it probably didn't happen. And so sometimes we forget to talk about some of the good things that are going on in our community and some of the things that are important. And I wanted to take the opportunity for just a minute to recognize an award that was recently received just this last week by our county engineer. Jared, is he here? Jared, will you just come up for a second and sit up here close while I talk about this for just a second? One of the things that's really cool is when we have the opportunity to be recognized by our peers. I have been blessed to have some of those opportunities and to participate in recognizing some of my peers throughout the state in county commission assignments and other things as they have done exceptional things. And this is one that Jared has truly earned, I think, from his peers. And at a conference this last week, he received the Dennis Stuff Award for Utah Floodplain and Stormwater at the Utah Floodplain and Stormwater Managers Conference. And he was nominated by an individual named
Greg Siegmiller
from JUB Engineering. So this is someone that Jared has worked with and has been able to be a part of throughout this time. But let me read the nomination that Greg wrote in and sent about Jared. Jared hired on as the Weber County engineer in 2012. He's a licensed professional engineer with almost 2 decades of rich experience in floodplain and stormwater. He joined Weber County just after the infamous Weber County floods of 2011. He's had a lot of cleanup work to do, but with some help from NRCS, he had opportunities in which to do it. Quickly initiated about $17 million of disaster mitigation funds for multiple projects, including the Willard Diversion, the Ogden Bay Radial Gates, Little Weber Diversion Channel, the Upper Weber Gabion project, and multiple cleanup and bank restoration projects. Jared obtained his Certified Floodplain Manager CFM certification in 2013, and he was instrumental in having many of his staff obtain their CFM certifications at that time as well. In his career, he has been commissioned to do several LOMR and LOMA studies, whatever those all mean. He performed the Utah Reservoir inundation model for the county and has recently worked with the communities of Weber County to create a flood control district which would benefit 4 Mile Creek and Birch Creek and other areas in the lower valley. Also, this is the award that was presented, and I'll read from the award. It says that UFSMA, this association, recognizes and honors Jared Anderson, Weber County engineer, for his leadership in the aftermath of the Weber County 2011 flood, Weber County Flood Control District contribution in flood inundation modeling, and continued commitment to improving floodplain management practices in Weber County by coordinating the community rating system and flood study upgrade programs. Now, just real quickly, I am one who has seen the effects over many, many years of lack of attention to floodplain challenges. One of the things that is unfortunate is that that's one of those areas where our constituents have a hard time seeing that something or nothing is being done until it's too late. It's one of the least flashy things because everybody just assumes that stormwater is going to run into a drain and is going to immediately end up where it needs to be done and taken care of appropriately. Well, folks, I'm here to tell you it's not that easy. It is a tremendous effort, and because it's less flashy than other things, we tend to forget about it when budgets get tight and when challenges come. But after years and years of neglect, I am so grateful that this county put together the will to move forward on some of these problems that truly have made a huge difference in the entire county, all the way from the very top of the system in the upper valley on the other side of the mountain, all the way to the very lowlands of western Weber County out by the Great Salt Lake. And a lot of that really couldn't have had taken place without the strong leadership of good folks being involved in this process, including our county engineer, Jared Anderson, and Lance Peterson, who's on the back row here today, just doing a tremendous job in lots of different ways. So, Jared, will you tell us just a little bit quickly about this award and if it means, let me just tell you, first of all, when I told him I was going to do this, he said no. He's one of those that doesn't really want to talk about these types of things, but will you anyway just tell us a little bit about how this award came to be? And then I think Lance wanted to say something.
No, there's a reason this isn't on the agenda, because I didn't want it to be. So I don't know if I want to say I appreciate Kerry for putting it on, but you know what? I think the thing for me that I saw is when I first came into the county, firms, construction companies, they did not see any RFPs or proposals or work coming out of Weber County. So to change that through funding opportunities, through different mechanisms that we could actually get work happening in Weber County, we have done more work in the past 5 or 6 years here than I think we have for 30 years in stormwater. And that definitely isn't all due to me. I'm glad to be a part of it, but it's exciting, I think, for Weber County to see all the work that's happening. This work was really focused on that EWP and RCS project and that process. It starts with somebody chasing down the funding, and I think Lance was a major role in that and getting that funding secured. And once we get that in place, I think there was a time where I was here every week with contracts, every single week, just with different people that we had on board. But I really need to thank the design engineers there were 3 main design engineers involved in this. And Craig Bagley was one with Bowen Collins and Associates, Greg Siegmiller with JUB, and then one of our previous employees who's moved on, but Dana Schuler with Jones and Associates. Those 3 really helped and pushed hard with the design of this work. We have our contractors, and many of them local, but we have Whitaker did a lot of work. Whitaker Construction, C.E. Butters, Orman Construction, and Craycar. They did a lot of work up and down this river and everything that needed to be done. So big thanks to them. We had construction management work done also. JUB and CRS, they both did work on that. So just a compilation of a lot of people working together. I was a little piece in the puzzle. Grateful to be a piece of that puzzle though. I'm grateful to help manage that as best we can. A lot of pain and heartache on the way to get through it, but it's amazing to see what we can do and amazing to see the work that we've got done, what we're able to do now. So.
Perfect. Lance?
Well, I don't want to turn this into a Jared Anderson love fest, but for the last 5 years, I have referred to him as the award-winning Jared Anderson, and he has been fantastic to work with, and I'm real tickled that he gets some recognition for that. He inherited, for Commissioner Harvey and Ebert, he inherited a rotten egg when he came on, and he's been great to work with. Not only was it a rotten egg, but it was a landmine. Working with all the cities with stormwater, in addition to all of the other projects that have been going on the last 5-6 years, has been great. We've accomplished a lot, and there's a lot more to do to keep going. But he's always responsive to me, and I appreciate that. I know his staff is probably overworked, he's understaffed, underpaid, but he's great to work with, and just appreciate you three commissioners giving him a little bit of recognition. He's great to work with. Breath of fresh air. Thank you.
Well, my cabinet in my room, in my office, is full of awards over the last 5 years, because a lot of them end up coming to the county or they have my name on them. I don't understand why, but this one is really impressive. I'm grateful for this one because it has Jared's name on it, and he's earned it and has deserved it. So, Jared, can I give you this and present this to you?
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's give him a hand. I want to make sure and thank the chair for allowing me a long thought today.
No, that's it. Commissioner Harvey, do you have any thoughts you'd like to express to Lance and to Jared?
I appreciate the work that's been done as far as stormwater issues, and we'll continue to work on those. Keep up the good work. Thank you.
One of the things that I think we're very focused on is this political paralyzation that happens at times when politicians become so concerned about a foreseen or maybe not well thought out consequence of making a decision, so nothing ever happens. And what I think that you're feeling from this commission into this community is thoughtful approach and trying to do or doing the right thing for the right reason, and not being so concerned about electability. Because there are so many things we need to do within our community. Sometimes they're a little painful. This project was a little painful. It was a large project. It encompasses several different parcels and property owners, tremendous amount of work on the river, disruption to the river at times, federal agencies, state agencies, local agencies. It was a lot of work. And it took a little bit of commitment to move this project forward, and it took the right people like Jared and like Lance to make it happen. And so this commission is dedicated to making the right decisions for the right reasons. We're aware of the politics that are out there at times, but if something needs to be done to move this county forward or to strengthen the county and strengthen the community, we're committed to do that. And what makes it happen is having the right people, the right staff members with vision and expertise to move that forward. And I think today is just another example with Jared and with Lance. So thank you very much. Really quickly, I'd just also like to touch, we didn't get a chance last meeting, but October is National Breast Cancer Awareness. And we just want to let anyone listening and let our staff know that we're aware of the many of these health concerns we have within our community. And I would like to ask our Administrative Services Director, who is over HR, to have an active campaign within our county. We have 11 to 1,200 employees, many of which this does affect, to really be active in this breast cancer awareness. We know that breast cancer, if detected early and is in a localized area within the body, can be almost to 100% addressed and eradicated. And so early detection is extremely important. And sometimes we don't want to talk about it, or it's an uncomfortable topic to address, but it is something that will affect every single one of us if we're not aware of it. So we want to be very active within our local community and within Weber County. And so my request to Sarah is, could we have an active campaign on breast cancer awareness this month, and to be part of this awareness month? That's a quick thought from the chair. I hope that was okay. I was made aware last week, and I wasn't able to address it within our meeting. So, okay, so we'll move on to our consent items. Under E, item number 1 is a request for approval of warrants 1224 and 421600 through 421768 in the amount of $1,227,920.36. Item number 2 is a request for approval of purchase orders in the amount of $121,141.20. Item 3, request for approval of Weber County Human Resource Policy 3-300, alcohol and drug screening, testing, and treatment. Item number 4, request for approval of Weber County Human Resource Policy 3-400, standards of conduct. Item 5, request for approval of Weber County Human Resource Policy 3-500, nepotism. Item number 6 is a request from the Weber County Tax Review Committee for approval up to refund $136.29 to William Donahue, parcel number 24-053-0041, due to county error. Item number 7 is a request from Weber County Tax Review Committee for approval to refund $2,048.75 to Jessica Byrne, parcel number 22-022-0137, due to county error. Item number 8 is a request from the Community and Economic Development Department for approval to declare parcel number 09-038-0015 as surplus property. Those are the items on our consent calendar today. Commissioners, do you have any questions specific to those items?
I do not.
No questions. Mr. Hatch, would you mind going over our warrant and PO list?
You bet. We issued 16 purchase orders this week for $121,000. 82% of that amount, or $99,000, was for our IT department. Quinn is happy. This was primarily for security and antivirus licenses. 10%, or $12,000, went to the iSheet, and that was for concessions as well as some a water tank replacement. As far as checks, we issued 170 checks this week for $1.2 million. 38% of that amount, or $464,000, was for fleet, and that was to purchase 4 trucks for the roads department, large trucks. 21%, or $260,000, was for the library, and that was for construction of the main library. 7%, or $87,000, was for the jail, and that was utilities and food primarily. And then 6%, or $78,000, was for the library, and that was for books and materials.
Thank you, Ricky. Any questions specific to POs and warrants? I would just like to add really quickly, a tremendous amount of work is being done as Sarah Swan became our administrative services to address issues within our HR policy. And you will see over the course of the next probably several months, continual policies coming in front of the commission for adoption. We're attempting to really kind of freshen up our policies and make sure that they're easily accessible and and the community and the staff and employees understand them. So I appreciate the tremendous amount of work that's going on within Human Resource and the staff that we have in Human Resource. Any further questions? Okay, I'm open for a motion.
So moved.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes. Thank you. Moving to action items. Under F, number 1, request for approval of an interlocal agreement by and between Weber County and the Weber Morgan Narcotics Strike Force to investigate drug and gang-related crimes in Weber County. Christopher Crockett.
Thank you, Commissioners. The Weber Morgan Narcotics Strike Force was established in 2003, and it's time for an update to the interlocal. Part of the reason for updating that is that it is a requirement for us the Narcotics Strike Force to receive federal grants, and then there were some organizational changes that needed to be made with the administration of Strike Force. As you mentioned, the purpose of the Strike Force is investigating and prosecuting the illegal importation, manufacture, use, and sale of controlled substances. Strike Force was also created for the purpose of investigating narcotic and criminal gang organizations and gang crime in Weber County. The participating agencies in the Strike Force are Ogden City, Weber County as law enforcement provider for all contract cities and unincorporated areas of Weber County, Roy City, South Ogden City, North Ogden City, Riverdale City, Pleasant View City, Harrisville City, Morgan County, Weber State University, Utah Highway Patrol, and Utah Adult Probation Patrol. So we are bringing this for your review and approval.
Questions? Seeing no questions, we're open for a motion.
I'll move that we approve the interlocal agreement between Weber County and the Weber Morgan Narcotics Strike Force to investigate drug and gang-related crimes.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes. Thank you very much. Item number 2, request for approval of contracts by and between Weber County and the following for appellate conflict attorneys. Emily Adams, Freya Johnson. Is that close?
Freja.
Freita. Oh. Yeah. And Cherise Bakalski.
Morning,
Brian Barron.
Commissioners. Thank you. I know that you three are already aware of this, but just for the benefit of the public, the county has an obligation to provide attorneys to indigent defendants, both in the district court and at the appellate level on their first appeal. And so what happened here is we had 4 defendants who were involved in an aggravated robbery. They were ultimately convicted, and they decided to appeal their cases. And so our contract attorney to handle appeals is Sam Newton, and he realized that these 4 defendants were at odds with each other and that he couldn't represent all 4 of them on appeal. And so we had to hire what's called conflict counsel to represent them. And so that's what we're doing here. We went through not the RFP process, but through the procurement process. And these 3 attorneys were the lowest bidders, and all 3 of them are very well qualified to represent these defendants on appeal. So I recommend that the county enter into these contracts.
Wonderful. Thank you, Brian. Any questions for Brian? Any statements?
Nope.
No. I don't have any.
We are in our budget process, and we were just hearing from, I can't remember what his name is.
Mike Bowis?
Mike Bowis.
Yeah, from Mike. And we let Mike know there seemingly at times is a perceived conflict between public defenders and these appellate type conflict attorneys and the county. And we want them to know, and we want our community to know, that that's not necessarily true. That this is a constitutional right, and the right to counsel, if you cannot afford one, is afforded to us through our constitutional rights, and we support that. And because we want the citizens to understand that, there's a tremendous amount of a commitment to make sure the criminal justice system is affordable for everyone. And so we hope that that's a feeling that is getting out there to our community. It needs to be financially responsible, of course, but there's no reason for us to have a conflict between any of our public defender's office in the county or the county attorney's office, and I feel like the county attorney's office represents that. So is that a fair representation of our conversation? Okay. Any other discussion? Open for a motion.
I'll move that we approve the contracts between Weber County and Emily Adams, Freda Johnson, and Sharice Bukowski for the appellate court attorneys.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
It passes. Okay, item number 3. Thank you very much, Brian. Request for approval of poll workers for the 2017 municipal general and special elections. Presenter Ryan Cowley. Ryan.
This week is like, this couple weeks is like Christmas for Ryan.
Well, good morning,
Ryan.
Thank you. A little bit early, but appreciated. So you have before you a list of the poll workers that we'll use for the municipal elections, as well as the special elections for the 2 school districts, as well as the special service districts. And the list has a lot of familiar names on it. We've got some really good poll workers that do a good job. So it's my recommendation for you to approve this list of poll workers.
I've looked at the list. It looks great to me. It's a smaller list with the mail-in vote by mail, but I think it's appropriate. So unless there's anything else, I'll make a motion that we approve the list.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? It passes. Thank you very much. Now it's time set aside for our public comment. Any individuals that would like to make a public comment, you have time set aside for you. Okay. Seeing none, we'll move on to item H.
So move.
We have a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
It passes. Thank you. And thank you for attending.